Hi guys. Hi Babir. Thank you for coming. Oh, something wrong with your voice. No, 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 no. Yeah. No. Yeah, guys. Babir, it's amazing guy. And from
Hear
the
me now?
message. Yeah, from the message.com. Yeah,
Okay.
and today they want to talk about remote work and next big thing. Yes, Babir, introduce yourself, please.
All right. Hi, Manana. Thanks for having me here. So my name is Bobir, Bobir Akilkhanov. I'm the founder of Miss.com. I've been tech entrepreneur for 20 years now. Had success and failures, and hopefully Miss.com is one of the projects that hopefully it's going to be one of my success stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like the amazing story about like the you mistake the
Yeah,
Facebook in Australia
yeah.
and something really really crazy they've contacted.
That is a pretty
Yeah,
crazy
sure, please.
experience. That is a pretty crazy experience I had, and yeah, I gave that I told this story a lot of times, but I'm happy to tell the story one more
Yes,
time.
please.
I started my career by launching Facebook like website back in Australia in 2005. I raised the capital. I secured the capital. I was like a little bit over 20 years old guy, and 21 actually. And then it was at the time when social networking websites were, especially Facebook, was not nobody knew about it. Like nobody knew. And I had this crazy idea that I'm graduating my college, and then I have to, come up with some kind of product which will connect myself with my college friends. And the only alternative was MySpace, which was more into music guys. I
Oh.
didn't like MySpace, so I was thinking like, what should we do? Like I couldn't envision it. I knew something had to be done. And one day, one of my friends told me that one of the guys who I knew told me about the Facebook, that there was a kid called Mark Zuckerberg. His project Facebook was growing like crazy, and then he gave me access because it was only invitation to university students,
Yeah.
only invitation only. So I had this access. I saw that it was a really cool idea, and I said I want to do that. So basically, I copied it and I launched it in Australia. It took me almost a year to work on that and launch it in Australia. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I did because it was English speaking market. So eventually, Facebook would come to the first first markets that it would launch would be English speaking markets. I was young. I didn't realize that at that time, at the same time, I was thinking like I should do it in Russia. I should do it in Russia. But my lead tech developer, he's a Russian guy. He said, "Look, nothing like that is going to work in Russia. It's not going to be popular because the Russian culture is different. People use different, websites, and it's not going to be popular in Russia." It was like 2005, mid 2005. So, and I said, all right, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna focus in Australia. When I launched it, I realized that Facebook is gonna open up the doors in Australia, and I'm gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that although we had subscriptions, people were starting using that, using our Facebook, our project, and there was another guy who was doing the same thing in Germany. It's the name of the project was Stadtwiz. Eventually, I think they sold for probably $1 billion or something like that. There was another guy who was doing it in China, and I was like, "Oh shit, they're successful. I'm not. Like, I'm doing it in Australia, in English speaking country, which was the wrong thing to do." So I ultimately decided to go to Russia, open
Mm-hmm.
like in 2006, early 2006, I think. And then I found out that Pavel Durov, nobody knew him at that time. A nerd guy, came up with Kontakte. Russian people know
Yeah.
that it's it's the biggest social networking website in Russia. And I wrote to him. I said, hey, my name is Bobir, and I'm the founder of the student page. That was my project. And he said, I know you. I know you. You are the guy who's doing it in Australia. I said, yeah, I'm the guy. And he said, let's partner. I said, I would love to partner because I want to come into Russia. I want to open my own project. He said, no need to open your own project. Come and invest in my project.
Wow, it's
Yes.
amazing.
And then he said, I said, all right, let's do that. Let's do it. And we agreed on 20%, $100,000, 20%, which was
Wow.
right now it sounds like phenomenal deal, like unbelievable,
Yeah, yeah.
impossible. And but at the end of the day, it didn't work out. Long story short, the deal didn't work out because I went to my investors and I said, this is the deal I want to do. And then they said, why don't you just ask 51%? Because my investors had a Russian mentality of like
Mm-hmm.
controlling the business, you know. And then they said, and I also consulted with a few other people, and they said, yeah, he's a kid, just take 51%. And I was a kid myself, and I flew to St. Petersburg, and I said, Pavel, the deal has changed a little bit. I'm taking 51%, not 20%. He was like, oh, you're changing our
Wow,
deal.
yeah.
You're changing our deal. There's nothing left for me, he said, because he had this Lviv and other people who already invested a little bit in his project, and then they're not going to agree. I said, well, look, if you're not agreeing, and I was so proud of myself, I was at the top of the technology industry. I said, well, if you don't agree, I'll launch my own website. And he said, my investors are not going to agree, and I'm not going to agree on that. If you want 20%, we can close the deal. And then he said no. I said no, and then ultimately I ended up having no deal in Russia, in St. Petersburg, the city that I don't know. And then I flew to Moscow, and I said, now what do I do? How do I start my project in Russia? My platform didn't even have a Russian language. So I called my developer and said, right away, change the website. And then I didn't know how to promote it. So it was like a country that I didn't know, the system that I didn't know. And the first advertisement that I gave was Fishkinet. Some people from
Yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
will know that. I gave an advertisement on Fishkinet, and then I started getting some traffic. But back then, Pavel knew that I was launching my own website. So he said, he said, announced a competition like free iPods. He started
Mm-hmm.
giving out free iPods. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shit. So when we started talking, he was having like 50 registrations a day. By the time I launched, he was having like 3,000 registrations a day already, and it was growing. And I'm like, I panicked. I didn't know what to do. And then I reached out to him. I said, hey, Pavel, like, you know what? Let's invest. Let me invest in you. Like, I'm good. 20%, $100,000. And he said, you know what? Fuck you.
Wow.
I mean, he didn't say fuck you, but he was like, no, man, I'm sure it's gonna. He said, I'm sure it's gonna take off. I'm very confident. I don't think we need the money anymore.
Uh,
And I was like, oh shit, I'm doomed. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, my project was picking up, but it was so slow, so slow. Most of the users who were coming to me was people who was rebelling VK of contact.
mhm.
So they were like, hey, I don't like Pavel. Let's move to another platform. And they were like, 100 people will come to me and use it, and then I would be happy, like, yeah, that's so cool. We're getting some traction, but it was nothing. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
thousands, where he was already getting hundreds of thousands of users. So ultimately, I lost the game. I lost one of the biggest opportunities of my lifetime, I guess. Hopefully, it will come. Another opportunity will come. And I got depressed. Pavel Durov actually wrote about this story on his book, VK, Code of Durov. He didn't mention my name. He said there was a guy who was from Australia who wanted to invest. That was me. And
Yeah, this is huge
which
mistake actually. It's crazy.
that is a crazy story to tell, but that was in the past. I uh, I realized it was a mistake. I adjusted myself, and I made I made few conclusions from it.
What is the most challenging for you today and for your team?
The most challenging is that it's getting into the market as in any business. We have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ideas, but the competition is now is tough. I mean, it's not 2005 anymore, 2006, where you could just come up with almost any idea, and anything would pick up, like literally anything, if you had the right team. So it's difficult to get into the market, to any market. So building a product is one of the things that I'm good at. I've been building
Mm-hmm.
products. I have 40, 50 people, full-time people working for me. And my team is distributed, by the way. They're all located in different places, but full-time employees. Um, and just, getting the product into the market and making a success is a difficult task.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And why did you start Method.com?
The reason why
What is the storytelling?
so here's the story. I Because I was always on a remote work before the pandemic, before it became cool thing working remote. I was working remote for 10 years, over 10 years, and I always used the video conferencing technologies, and then I always knew that remote thing is going to be big. One day, even the classic businesses are going to allow people to work from home. And what do you need when you work remotely? When you're doing something remotely, what is the one of the essential things? Is the communication. One of the essential things is the communication, and the communication is via the video conferencing. So I thought, and then back then when I started doing it, Zoom was not that popular. Okay, it was just for geeks and for some top executives. We started working on the remote. We on the video conferencing, but we didn't envision it to be purely video conferencing. We wanted it to be integrated to either remote work or tutoring and etc. etc. And to be honest, I'm still pivoting. I mean, we started as a remote tool, or we started as a video conferencing. Then we decided, okay, after the pandemic hit, we decided, okay, that's not the way to go because everybody uses Zoom now, and then I'm not going to be able to compete with them. So we went a little bit to remote work, and then we decided, okay, remote is good, but let's even specialize in a niche. We want to specialize on online remote tutoring, like tutoring. So basically, it's like right now it's we're positioning ourselves more for tutors who are working remotely and
Mm-hmm.
educating kids remotely. What is that? We did over hundreds of interviews with the tutors, and we found out some of the problems they're having is that they want to be able to put some notes. Once the video conferencing finishes, they want to put some note. That's the first thing. They want to put a reminder. That's the second thing. Third, they want to accept the payment. So once they
Wow.
finish the class, they want to accept the payment. So that's one of the things. They want to have a schedule. We're doing the scheduling. So after having over 100 interviews, we know exactly what a tutor needs. And they're, by the way, believe it or not, they're not happy with the Zoom. They're not happy. Zoom is
Wow.
not satisfying their requirements.
No, it's really great idea. It's like the something for the finance, for the education, and
Exactly.
for the live streaming. But what is your next steps? What is the killer
So
app for
so
the
here's the next step.
what is your pipeline? Like what you wanted to add? Like studio,
There's a lot.
maybe cloud recording, maybe I don't know,
Yeah, we
something
do
for
have everything. I mean, we have recordings. We have right now we're putting gradings and etc. etc. There's a list for almost a 6 month, at least 6 months.
Mhm.
My next stage is to actually we have already pivoted like minor pivots uh, 3 times. So we
Three
wanna bring
times.
Yes, like
What
within a
is
very short.
what is
So
was before, like the product, before
before
you
the pandemic,
changed your marketing?
before the pandemic, it was purely video conferencing. So
Oh,
before
okay,
the
like the
pandemic, we
Zoom, like
just
the Restream.
yeah, just video conferencing. That's it. Recording video conferencing like Restream, and that's it. And then secondly, we said, okay, let's focus on a remote. And then we didn't know exactly what remote, whether it be the remote employees, remote something. I don't know what
Like
remote.
solopreneurs, maybe for the fitness, maybe
Yeah, exactly.
for the
And then
game.
now we decided, okay, let's niche it. Let's make it even smaller niche. Let's do it remote for tutors, like a
Uh-huh.
remote tool. It basically facilitates their tutoring. You know, my kid, yeah, is doing online schooling. I have a private. He gets a private classes, and his teacher. The way we send the money is that first of all, the way how it works is that we send the message. Hey, are you if let's say we want to cancel the school, the class, we send, hey, Miss D, we want to cancel the class, and then she texts me, and then we say, oh, she says okay, and the way we also work, pay her is via the Venmo or PayPal. So it's not an automated process. So right now, what is going to happen is that the scheduling is going to be within the video conferencing. The
Oh,
payment is going to be in the video conferencing, and the notes. So once the class finishes, she will put the note. You know, Alan, my kid's name, Alan, is doing a great job. I told him to do this, blah, 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 blah. So she puts into the video conferencing notes, and it's going to be visible to me as a parent. It's going to be visible to her as well, and to him as well. And then,
actually, it's. Do you remember in Russia it's called like a dnevnik?
yes, Dnevnik.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what. Yes, yes, exactly.
It's so funny.
Uh, exactly.
And plus PayPal, you know.
Exactly. That's it. And then also, you know, my teacher does not need to remind me every time, hey, Bobir, you need to pay like $300. I need to have a credit card in my video conferencing that will charge automatically once the class finishes.
Wow,
So
it's really
that
great.
is like complete automation tool. And to be honest, I was like hesitant at the beginning. I was thinking, are we going too niche, too niche? And then at the end of the day, we decided, you know what? Let's ask. We called, so we actually paid $50 to every single teacher who we spoke, and we said, can we just interview you? You're not
Mhm.
going to teach us anything. We're just going to interview you, and we interviewed them. And then
That's great.
after 50, after 100 calls, we knew exactly what was what they
Or
wanted.
it's like the really great market fit. But what's going on with your community strategy? Like the
Community strategy.
what is your go-to-market strategy?
So the market strategy, and he won't know. And why? Somebody said I don't know. Anyway, make it fast, lol. Yes, exactly. I need to make it fast. I need to roll out into the market. The problem is that always there's technical issues. So
Mhm.
we're building everything from the scratch, and then it's a difficult process. We are limited in resources because I'm financing it myself. I haven't raised a single dollar from anybody. And then the market strategy is like roll out to limited number of tutors, and then test it with them. Once everything is like bug free, everything is working properly, then roll out to another 1,000 or 2,000 people, and slowly. My strategy, honestly, is a long term. I'm not expecting it to grow like crazy in 6 months. I have a
Mhm.
very realistic expectation. I'm here for 3, 5 years, or maybe even more. So one thing that I learned from my entrepreneurial experience is that I have to, stick around to any idea that I am investing my time for a long time.
What do you think? Is it possible for any technology startup to become like a mega player, like in live streaming, in finance, like YouTube, Amazon, Facebook? What do you think? What is should be like the competitive advantage?
All advantage is going to be where we're going to be focusing on the niche market.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Zoom is for everybody, like, but for like everybody can use it. But if you want to go specifically in a niche, if you're, let's say, medical industry, there's a lot of things that medical industry need, and Zoom doesn't have it. It's Or if you are doing it for completely remote automation tool, there's a time tracking. You need time tracking. You need a lot of things. So Zoom doesn't have it. Zoom is good just for day-to-day things, just like a Skype or something like that. But if you want to go niche, there will be always niche products that will be tailored for a certain group. And that's my strategy. I want to focus.
Interesting. What is your superpower? What do you think? Like,
What's that?
what is your superpower?
My superpower?
Like entrepreneur.
I'm not afraid of failures, and I'm not afraid of taking actions. So I failed a lot of times in my lifetime. I lost millions of dollars, but uh, I always get up and then basically move on, and that's it. When I had my first failure, I actually thought that was end of my career. I thought that's it. I'm depressed. I'm not going to be able to get out from that, and then I'm not never going to be successful. But it turned out not to be true. You basically get up and move on. It's like being knocked off by in the martial arts, and then getting up and moving on again. So I think that's one of my key strengths, that I can move on. I can handle. I have a thick skin. I can handle anything.
Okay, and what are the skills needed to be a unicorn founder?
If you make it to 20 means you're having fun. I don't know who's writing something. There's a comment. I'm just interested what he's writing. And no GI. I don't understand what you're writing about, my friend. But anyway, it's fun to read. What was your question, Manana?
My question about what are the skills needed to be a unicorn founder, like a 1 billion company?
I think you
for
do need
the
to.
US market, yeah.
For the US market, I think you need to be a visionary. So you need to have a vision. What do you want? Exactly, 100%. You need to have a persistency. Without persistency, even the best ideas are not going to work out most of the time. And For unicorn, obviously, you need a great team, really good team. And luck as well. Like, without the luck, it will be not true saying that luck is also important. You need to be in the right timing, right, with the right, everything should align for you to become a unicorn. When we read about Mark Zuckerberg and we say he's the genius guy, there was a lot of genius people as well thinking about the same thing, but he was lucky to be the first one, and he was in the right place. So the same with with Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and etc. They were born at the time. They were at the right age. They were born at the right place, and etc. And there was a community, and etc. And then they came out. So I mean, to become a millionaire, you just have to work hard and be just smart. But to become a unicorn, you need to have a luck as well.
And what is your investment strategy?
So here right now,
how
I'm investing.
How to find the right investors and lead investors for startups during the COVID? And
just one second. Can you give me a water, please? Yeah. Sorry. I'm a little bit thirsty.
Yeah. What do you think about like the right investors for your startups?
Investors. Well, so in terms of investors, I am financing.
Yeah, because it's so complicated right now, being fundraising and all of this. It's remote. They should use Zoom for the pitches. It's so boring. It's so complicated.
Yeah, it is.
And how to find the right investors for the new startups, for the new business models.
So, well, you have to pitch it. I mean, you have to pitch it to investors. It's a numbers game as well. You can't expect if you pitched it to one person and expect it to him to invest. Okay, that's like a customer acquisition. Every customer every potential customer is not going to be your customer. So you need X amount of people to come, and then one of them or two of them is going to buy something. So you need to have a great team, you need to have a great product, and etc. etc. And then you need to have a pool of investors. So you go and knock in the door, you ask to be introduced. Introduction, by the
Yeah,
way,
introduction, it's
gives
really important.
gives a lot of value, uh, like increases your chances of actually being getting the investment. So you talk to people, you pitch it, pitch it, pitch it, and if you have a good idea, one of them is going to invest to you. I mean, that's going to be my strategy.
And what do you think? What is the next big thing, like sustainable technology? What it should be during next beyond like the next 15 years? What it should be? Maybe something new for the artificial intelligence. Maybe for the, I don't know, like the VR and the XR gaming, for the education. Maybe for the content. Maybe for the self-tracking devices, robotics, blockchain, and DeFi. Because do you remember? It was so funny story. But before you sold your company in blockchain, in media.
2017, yeah.
Yeah. What it should be like the next big.
I mean, obviously, we all understand that artificial intelligence is going to grow. Robotics is going to grow. It's not because I read it somewhere, but it's just I understand that human people are not reliable. We're not reliable. The pandemic showed us, like, we can get sick. The society can stop working. So if I was a big guy, like a founder of a huge corporation, one of the first things I would be investing on artificial intelligence, just to eliminate the risk of my people. If my people get sick, I don't have to rely on them. Okay, the artificial intelligence, the call centers, and etc. They should be able to work. Secondly, the robotics. I'll be investing. If I had the warehouses, I'll definitely be investing on the warehouse. If I was going to open up a pizza shop right now, I'll definitely invest on the robotics, like a pizza making thing. Because if another pandemic going to happen, and if the death rate is going to be more than 3% or like 10% or something like that, somebody should work. So I would go and invest in that.
And space technology, blockchain, DeFi.
Blockchain. I mean, everything that right now we're talking about, the blockchain is also going to grow. I don't think many people understand what the ultimate use of blockchain is. I mean, it's very vague. We know that it's going to grow, but how we're going to implement that in the future, we still kind of don't know. We're probably going to find out in 10-15 years.
And base it on your like a specific vision on venture capital ecosystem and technology landscape. How has it changed over the last 5 years, and what's going on during the COVID and after? Like the rolling
So at the beginning, I think that
it's so like a crazy thing with Robinhood, and Reddit.
Yeah, well, at the beginning, venture capital, I think, as everybody, they stopped, like they were shocked, what's happening, like how we're gonna invest or what we're gonna do. But everybody adopted. Right now, it's even cooler because these venture capitalists. They moved to sunny Miami. They don't have to stick around in San Francisco. They're sitting in sunny, Miami, and doing the same thing. They're talking. Instead of going face-to-face meetings, they're doing the same thing with via online, remote. They probably, I'm not a venture capital, so they probably changed this, which projects they're going to invest in, which are more trendy or something like that. But To me, it doesn't make any difference. I am still gonna go and pitch them
Mhm.
via, it doesn't matter where they are, so I'm gonna go and pitch them anyway. Yeah.
Tell me something interesting about remote work and live streaming. What
A
should
remote a
yeah.
remote work is gonna grow 100%. I've been telling that before pandemic. I can tell right now it's gonna grow more of a classic. Pandemic just showed us that the business is not gonna stop if you send your employees to work from home. It's not gonna stop. You can still do the work. But before pandemic, it was like it was. More classic businesses, the businesses, old school businesses, they were like, oh no, I need them to be in the office, to be here right next to me so I could control them. But now they're like, oh, you know what, actually it can be controlled remotely as well. And in a way it's more efficient, more efficient. So it's just going to grow, and new technologies, new products are going to come out that will help remote work. Like we have time tracking. Okay, we in the future we're going to be able to see who's sitting where. Like you will have a big screen, and then you will see, okay, my employees are online. He's like, he's green. He has a green sign. He's offline. It's like tick and red and blah blah blah. So it's going to be very interactive remote work.
Is it same for the education?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
100%.
What
100%.
is the like the next
I
trends
took
for the
I took
education and gaming and actually gaming
I
too?
took Yeah, 2 years ago, my older son he went remote, and then that was crazy when we said that we're taking our kid to do remote studies, and then people would say like, why would you do that? And then on top of that, we actually took him from school, so he was like grade 8 or 9. We said, hey, like just do homeschooling, let's do remote, and people were not understanding why we're doing it. And then right now, like people who were saying, "Hey, remote is not good," they're actually saying, You know what? Actually, my son had learned more with remote, and teachers are not everybody, but teachers are also adopting, and they're saying, "Yeah, remote is okay. We can do that. We can work. We can teach kids." And it's not gonna stop. It's not
Mhm.
gonna stop right now. Before, the way most of the people were thinking is that if I want to get a private tutor for my kid, the tutor has to come to my home, or I have to send my kid to tutor's home, or I don't know, wherever they are.
Yeah.
So you were always had a geographic boundary. Okay, you were like, I would only look within New York, within the certain area. Now with the remote, I have a Russian teacher who's teaching my kids from Russia. He's doing my math teacher for my kid from Uzbekistan.
Mhm.
He knows English. He's a professor. He's a very smart guy, and then he's teaching my kid. I have a teacher in New York. I have a teacher in Miami, and etc. So I don't have a geographic limitation now. I can hire anywhere. I can hire math teacher in India, and I'll have the same result. And for them, it's good as well because it's opening the bigger market to them.
Interesting. And what's going on? What is the next big thing in live streaming, in entertainment?
Um, I should
What's
ask
going
you
on?
because
Yeah,
I
what's going on?
this question should be addressed to you because you are the professional live streamer. I've been following
Yeah,
you. You're like, you're doing the
live,
streams interviews every day. I don't know what's happening. You also tell
yeah,
me what's happening.
and deep fakes actually, yeah,
Huh?
and deep fakes. It's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
fun.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
And what do you think it should be after the COVID? How
uh
long it's how deep?
well, I took my vaccination recently, the first
Really?
vaccine. Yes, I did. So
How are you feeling?
I was
How are
I'm
you
feeling
feeling?
great. I mean, I'm feeling very good. I hope I'm not gonna get sick and I won't have any side effects. But I'm feeling good. Well, the we will come in a normal life once. I This is what I hear from people who understand, like Dr. Fauci, and normal life probably the end of this year or 2 years, I don't know. And then the life after COVID, it's just we're going to have a very huge technological progress in this time, very big, like enormous technological progress. And then some of the things are going to be norm to us, as remote work is going to be norm for a lot of people. For a lot of businesses are not going to even get an office probably.
Maybe not for the restaurants, for the
No,
travels.
restaurants, obviously. The restaurant is something that you have to go and dine in. But a lot of restaurants are probably going to work for just to go, the online restaurants just for
Yes,
delivery.
online. Yeah, online. It's called like a cloud kitchen. You know.
Yeah, it's cloud kitchen. Well, I have a business in Russia. It's called plov.com. I invested into that business 2005 or four, I don't remember. We started as a cloud business in
Wow,
Russia. We were the Forbes #1 project in 2016, and the winner of the billionaire something, I don't remember,
it's great.
competition. Huh?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it is good. We started as a cloud. We didn't have restaurants. We were only for delivery,
Yeah,
delivering food.
yeah, for
So
the delivery.
I think more and more businesses going to pop up like that, and then more remote work is going to be a norm. Remote studies is going to be a norm for a lot of people. Overall, yeah, I mean, things are going to get better, I guess.
What is your advice for the startups? How they can survive during the COVID and after?
Well, first of all, you find a market fit for your business. You can have a best idea in the world, but if there's no demand for your product, uh, nothing is going to help. Not $1 billion investment is going to help. So you have to find the right product for the market. Um, you have to be persistent. It's super important, really, really important. Being very persistent. You have up and downs, and then you have to be able to keep moving whenever you're down as well. Um, I mean, secure investment. If you need investment, probably you do need secure
Equity.
investment. Huh?
Yeah, and equity.
Yeah, equity. Yeah, like sooner is better. So that you're secure. You could sustain your business. The rest is just a hard work, a little bit of luck, and hopefully everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, you're right. What do you think about Clubhouse? Are you in Clubhouse?
So here's the thing. I heard about Clubhouse 2 months ago, 3 months ago, or something like that. We actually had a similar idea with my.
Really?
We had a similar. Actually, we were working on a similar project with a year or like 1 year ago, but we
Wow.
ended up not rolling out. I mean, Clubhouse is trending. It's going to be successful. I have an invitation, but I didn't join because I don't have the iPhone. I don't want to take my wife's iPhone.
Um,
Yeah, it's only for iPhone users. I do have an invitation though, but I didn't join. I mean, it's gonna grow. It's gonna be something, it's just going to grow because this is like invitation only thing is going to
yeah,
work
yeah, yeah.
when there's a limited numbers can use it. Everybody wants to join, and they have a good
It's,
strategy. They have a good
good
a lot of
investors. Good
investors.
investors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those investors were the first users, which is a great strategy. Great strategy. So, and Elon Musk used it, so he's they're now like super pumped.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
It was funny. And
yeah,
after the Mark Zuckerberg too.
yeah.
Okay, and last question. What is your advice for the investors? What is the best short-term opportunities, investment opportunities?
What is the advice for the investors? I mean, um, uh, find well, I I don't know. invest. I don't know. I don't know what to say to the
In
investors.
your startup, actually, yeah.
In my startup, if you were going to invest, I mean, you're not only investing in a trending in a growing market. Okay, I'm not going in a market where which is going down. It's actually going up. Very important. I am if I was going to pitch myself, I know what I'm talking about. I did my research. I have a team. You're not investing in a guy who has no experience. I have 20 years of experience, technological experience. I did graduate from tech university. I did my bachelor's in information technology. On top of that, I have a very good, strong team, solid team. I invested my money, everything into this project, and I have a tons of experience. I have a background where I had successful projects, I had unsuccessful projects. So it's not that you are investing in a guy who has no experience and delusional. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it is great pitch. And what is your advice for the millennials, for the TikTok generation, if they wanna do it something like the new businesses?
Well, they have to realize that the business is also a risky thing. Everybody is talking about the entrepreneurship, risk, risk taking, and blah blah blah. But don't forget that our society needs doctors. Our society needs engineers. Not everybody has to be business people. You guys, in order to be happy, I don't think you need to go and just do business. There's a lot of things our society needs, like except entrepreneurs. So for you guys, but if you want to go for entrepreneurship and do businesses, just know that it's very risky. It's very very risky, and most likely most of you guys are going to fail first and probably second time as well.
Yeah,
And then if you cannot handle that, don't do that. Don't go. Just work for somebody. Get your paycheck and be happy and have a stable, more or less stable life.
yeah, the great mental health, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, Bobir, thank you so much for this live stream. It was so great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Manana. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
yeah. Have a good one today. Yeah,
Sorry, what did you say?
yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You too.
Yeah.